Welcome back to part 2 of my discussion of the Octave Engine of the Univox Super Fuzz. Okay, what we're looking at here is the oscilloscope of the sine wave input into from a sine wave audio signal about 100 cycles per second coming out of an audio function generator going into the input of the Super Fuzz. And the Super Fuzz is set on bypass. So I've got this also, the output running into an amplifier where we can hear the output. Bring the volume up. That's the original signal going, that's the input signal going into the Super Fuzz. Here I'll click, and with the mid scoop switched out, we just connect. I'm afraid it's not gonna, I'll have to change the frequency here to clean that signal up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, time-based thing. So let's go back and hear the original signal now. And then we click it, we can hear the doubled signal. This scope probe fell off. So that's the difference in the signal. Let's see what happens when we turn the trim pot. So we will unbalance the Octave Engine. You can see what happens to the waveform. It doesn't go back to perfect sine wave, but it does go back to the fundamental frequency going into the pedal. If we turn the trim pot back the other way, same thing happens. Returns the fundamental signal with some harmonic distortion. And you can hear it go almost back to a pure sine wave as you get the thing perfectly balanced. There's some kind of other tone in there, higher frequency harmonics, that when you get the thing, oops, scoop probe. When the thing gets out of adjustment, you can hear it. It's a harsher, like a triangle wave. You can hear it smooth out right as you get the thing adjusted. This is actually hard to do with a guitar on an amplifier. To get it perfectly adjusted, you really need the scope or an audio generator to be able to hear when that octave frequency smooths out. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you, and I guess I could discuss a little bit more about how that's done. The Octave Engine has a phase splitter, which is kind of like a concertina or cathodione phase inverter, transistor version of that, which is then followed by the Octave Engine, which is each half of the split signal, the phase inverted signal, goes into this Octave Engine, which itself is another pair of a pair of transistors. And the signals, the out-of-phase signals are recombined on the outputs of these two transistors, and it's the non-linearity within the performance of the transistors that generates the octave. Ordinarily, if you combine two out-of-phase signals, they're going to cancel out and you'll have no signal left, just a flat line. But due to the non-linearities in the output of the transistors, it fails to completely cancel out and you get a doubling of frequency instead. So that's how the Super Fuzz Octave Engine works. Alrighty, that wraps up this little segment. Next segment we will take the Super Fuzz to a guitar amplifier and hook it up and turn the trim pot while playing through it and see how that sounds. There's also one thing else I could show you since we have this thing on the scope, and that is what happens when you kick in the mid scoop. And here we'll turn the mid scoop on. What happens to the waveform? See, we get a very, it really does a number on the waveform. So that adds a lot of harmonics, scooping out those mids. You can go back to non-scooped, and that's scooped. You can hear a difference here. That's scooped, non-scooped. Fundamental. Alright, thanks for watching. Be sure to catch part 3.